I'm Ree. I'm from Merseyside DPAC. Thank, thank you all so much for coming here today. This protest is both a memorial to the thousands of disabled people killed by DWP policy, and also a call to fight back against the continuation and intensification of these deadly policies by this Labour government. This is a government that seems extremely determined to be remembered for, sorry, that seems extremely determined to be remembered for its genocidal foreign policy and democidal domestic policy, as well as for attacking our right to protest. I am speaking today mostly as a member of Merseyside DPAC, but I am also a researcher for Trans Safety Network. And as a disabled and trans person, I have long insisted that disabled people's liberation and trans people's liberation will be won in the same fight, and that our oppression is built with the same tools. But these last few years have made this increasingly clear to more and more of us. It is a terrifying time to be a disabled person in the UK right now, and it is a terrifying time to be a trans person here too. Lots of trans people are disabled, or rather, lots were before the government disabled the rest. And by disabling the rest, I don't just mean by destroying our mental health, but by constructing disabling barriers on purpose, by making it so that finding somewhere to use a toilet safely is so hard that going about day-to-day life, including going to work, is now so much harder for lots of trans people. But it is not just the EHRC guidance that is disablest. NHS healthcare policy is too, and it's getting rapidly worse under a health secretary that is too cowardly to face the kids whose lives he is destroying. Wes Streeting blocked the direct action campaigning group Trans Kids Deserve Better on Instagram, but he continues to invite Bayswater Support Group, who are not a support group, they're a conversion abuse advocacy network. And he invited them to consultations and he treats them as legitimate stakeholders. If you're going to look Bayswater up, please do heed the content warnings on the articles about them. I'm serious, it's bad. There's a huge need for increased solidarity between trans and disabled people and with the psychiatric survivor movement, because there is a long, dark history of subjecting trans people to psychiatric violence. And this is a twofold risk, with transness itself being psychiatrized, but also due to the high rates of neurodivergence and poor mental health within the trans population. Rather than considering that a hostile society is harmful to our minds, this is used to pathologize being trans or to deny that we can know our own gender. The correlation of transness and neurodivergence is researched by people who wish to eradicate both, or people who weaponize it or by people who weaponize it to gatekeep our healthcare. The NHS training materials for children and young people's gender services is one of the most disgustingly disablest things that I have ever had to write about. And on top of this seemingly now standard insistence that neurodivergent young people can't know their own minds, they are now implying that complex presentations of poorly understood or undiagnosed physical impairments are a suggestion of fabricated illness or fabricated gender identity. And this is even more so if somebody in the young person's immediate family happens to be disabled. With some of the most harmful changes to DWP policy disproportionately impacting young people, newly disabled people, and people with mental health struggles and neurodivergent people of all ages, we are simultaneously considered not disabled enough for support, but too disabled to be allowed our bodily autonomy. Disabled people and trans people are under attack, but when we join together to fight back, we are much, much stronger. Would you chant with me for a minute? So, trans rights, disabled rights, one struggle, one fight. Trans rights, disabled rights, one struggle, one fight. Trans rights, disabled rights, one struggle, one fight.
Thank you, Ian.